Hey guys, my name is Phoebe Nubisi. Welcome to my channel, and today we are going to do a fine-tuning model. Yes, we are going to fine-tune the Phi, the Microsoft model, and I am so excited. I believe it's Phi 3.5, and we are going to do some data set and build a Python script to train our data, and we will later use it to answer some questions of our local AI rack. Yes, it's a long process. It's my first time to do it, but we do it together. So right now I have an account on Kaggle. I believe that's how we call it. So I went to my account, I clicked on my work and dataset, and I will create the dataset. So I believe I will create a new dataset. I want to create a new dataset, and then I need to upload all the files. Those are PDF for start. It will be just PDF, and then we will leave visibility to private for now, and we will give a title to the data set. So that will be how it will look like. This that's the name I gave to my account here. Don't mind it. Yes, so let me copy even that link in case I lose it later. So we have that I uploaded all the files that we have for now. We want to make it simple. So the data that I have is for a ministry. It's just a use case. Maybe when you are in a church, like right now we have some volunteer messages, some small group inquiries, some prayer requests, some pastoral care messages, stuff like that. And yes, so I will create a data set, and then I will attach the data set to my notebook that I already have as well. Once it's done, my notebook, I believe this is it here. I will edit it. So the data set is created. It's right here. So it shows the files. These are the files. I have 13 files. So I need to attach that to this notebook. So I will add input. I will click on dataset. No, I'll click on my work dataset. Okay, so I have to click on your work dataset, and then I will add this. So it's adding data source. If you see here, it says adding data source. Looks like all the files are just 3 megabytes. Not bad. So they are already added. What I did to have this script, I used Cloud Code, and guess what? I told Cloud Code that these are the files that I have. I can open those files so you guys can see how they look like. These are the files. Let me scroll down. So I said these are the files that I have. Use it, and we use it to create a fine-tuning script, a notebook that we will want to train the model. The model that we are training right now is Phi 3.5, like I mentioned. So one of those files is like, it's just a fictive ministry. Here it says the fictive ministry is called PH Ministry. It says PH Ministry plans weekend services around simple goals, create an environment where guests encounter Jesus, families are served with excellence, volunteers know exactly what winning looks like, the operations team review attendance, seating, worship flow, service timing, hospitality coverage, follow-up handle, and we have the weekend attendance for the first service, the second service. Yes, and we have many files with those data and we will use that later on. So what I will do, I will go back to the notebook. So this is the notebook here, we'll do it together. I will also make sure that in the meantime, I have my my cloud code ready as well. So let me make cloud code available for you guys too. We're doing it together. Yes, this is cloud code here. So when I asked how to create a dataset, it showed me the steps, and then it tells me that your files now be at this input ministry PDF and says important note about the folder name. Kaggle turns your dataset into a URL slug for the path. If you name your dataset this, the path is that. If you name different name, it converts it to that anyway, lowercase, spaces, hyphen. Yes. To confirm the exact path after adding the dataset, you can run this. Let's try it. So I will add a code here and I will run it. It says waiting for Jupyter. Not sure what's going on here, but is it running? Is it not running? It shows datasets. Let's continue, guys. What we will do now, let's install transformers. Transformers used to do many things like downloading the model. Accelerate is used to make sure that it's available for any type of machine, whether it's a big server or no. PEFT, I think I have a documentation on all this. Let me open the right documentation, one moment. Yes, PEFT config is like a LoRa sticky note settings that has many inputs, so it helps to clip the LoRa on top of your model. The LoRa is just an additional layer, an extra layer that you add to your initial model that has already been pre-trained. So you add that layer to be able to train your local data set on that. And at the end of that training data, you will obtain what is called a LoRa adapter. And the LoRa adapter is just the layer that you save and that will be able to use to answer the questions. Yes, just to share that fine-tuning helps you to be able to answer questions based on maybe your policies, internal policies with the voice of your company, with the output format that you want, with the writing style that you want. You want it to be specific to some styling. Let's say you use some previous models that are maybe Claude Sonnet or GPT 5.5, Mistral, Phi for Microsoft model, or Quen. 3.5 or all those models, llama. If you use those models, they already have a word, they have a general knowledge that they have been pre-trained. So they will not answer the question specifically to your organization. Let's say maybe I want them to I want to give a message like, can I bring a query like, can I bring my 8-year-old to serve meals with me, maybe at an outreach event? It will give a general knowledge that yes, maybe there's no issue with that, but it depends on your organization. Do they have maybe childcare or stuff like that? But when you are part of the organization and you know exactly what needs to do. For example, here we have a response that says, thanks for asking. I can help you out with the outreach team and make sure the information is handled carefully. I should verify current event details, capacity, policies, or partner information before confirming. You see the types of details, that's the voice of your organization. That's what the kind of answer that we want. But if you give it just to a general pre-trained model, like all those models that I've listed, the answer will also be very general and not specific to what you need for your organization. So if we go back here, we have bit sound by. This one helps to compress the model to 4-bit to be able to fit certain machine or laptop. For example, this one that we are going to use, I believe is 1 GPU or 2 GPU maximum. So it helps to compress the initial model. Dataset is of course to help to load our dataset. PDF Plumber, I believe, is to build PDF or read PDF. We will see. And then let's run this. In the meantime, I have another model that I was running. That's the Phi-3.5 vision instruction, just while we wait for that one. So it uses formatting. It has like an image, and then we have text that has all this user, question, assistant, source. So is this public data set? So it's part of a Microsoft repository. I just use it to test it. So this is how the dataset looks like. We have images all the time, and then we have questions about that image, and then we have multi-choice questions and answers. So yeah, it's about 2,000 rows, but on our model, I believe we train just 200 of them. So what we do is that we compress the model for 5-bit Q LoRA, and then what we do, we use this auto model for casual LLM that helps to detect exactly what is the class that it will load inside the model for what we are going to do. And then we have the data set that we load. It's more than 1,200 examples, but we will use just 200 of them. Yes, and we remove some columns that are not useful. And then what we do after that is that on data collector, we mark some tokens for the input and for the questions, because we don't want it to be among the loss. The loss evaluation, LOSS, is evaluated to see how wrong the model is actually doing. So if it's like 0.3, that means the model is doing good. But if it's higher, like 3, that means the model is really bad. It's acting really bad. So what we do here, we always put the prompt in terms of role, user, content, image with the answers, and then the answer is the real answer of that. And then we label each. We have on the label, we have the token and the token prompt and the token label, and then we have the answer, and then we do the loss just for the answer. We have some training arguments here. You have the patch that is 1, creatine accumulation 8. We have disabled this, FP16 and BF16. They are disabled. We have the trainer here that takes the model, the arguments, and then it's training all of them. So it's been an hour and 40 minutes. It's still ongoing. Very interesting. I hope this training will not affect the one that I'm trying to do now. But let's see. It's telling me that on the ones that we are doing for the ministry, PIP dependency resolver does not currently take into account all packages that are installed. This behavior is the source of the following dependency conflict. We can see that we already have dependency conflict, but let's continue. Here we log in into Hugging Face. Let's do the login we use. It's asking me to attach the secret. We should have a secret here already. I think secret, we should have it already. It's already here. Maybe by clicking both of them, it will include it. Let me save. And run it again. Hopefully it gets it. Yeah, it says logged into Hugging Face. To have this token, I just went to Hugging Face. I went to Access Token and I created it. And I added here on the secret. So you click add-on, secrets, you add it here and you mask it so that it's not visible. So now what we do, the goal is to, here is showing me how to add the new data set. Now the goal is to go through this step with the PDF text using PDF Plumber. So PDF Plumber helps to read the PDF based on the path. I guess I have to add data set here. Let me try to run this. Oh, so I should even add this. Okay, now it's working. So we should add all of this to get to our right folder. And to delete that. Yes, so this is the right one. So we need to save. This version is version 3. It says change if you name your dataset differently. We already changed it. So what it does, it read the PDF, it clean the text by removing all spaces before and after. It's like the function train, and then it pass the prayer request here. It pass that, and then it generates generic paired with some records ID. Input label has the original message just for you to see how they are put. So we have original message, detected need, original message inquiry request question. Not all of them actually, but I guess the code will do it. The request, the question, the recommended response, the suggested response. We have the suggested steps, the recommended response here. The recommended assistant response, we have it here. And then it put them all together. Once that is done, it runs the extraction, everything. So let's run it. Let's see how it goes. It says it found 13 PDF there, and it says the first one has one pair message response format. It says it skip the rest for training because they don't have a structure pair found. It found one for 6 also. Let me open the 6 here. Open with Chrome. So this is how this one is. It's interesting how it says that this one has that format but the rest do not have. Guys, we are learning together. It skipped the rest for training because it says no structure pair. Very interesting. Let's just continue with what we have, and then the next step is fine-tune this mini instruct model that we have for Phi-3.5 as this our assistant. Yes. So it says key design decision. We have that model. No vision layer needed. That means it's not using pictures. And then we use 4-bit pure LoRa. Yes. Fits the 16GB T4 that Kaggle has. So we don't use FP16. We don't use BF16. Compute type flow 32. And then the device map is Q.0, single GPU, no touch run. Touch run is like the oven where you run all the AI math. There's no touch run here. Train of full sequence system user response. Fine for small dataset. This is a small dataset, obviously. 3 approach, that means each time there is a library that is called TRL. I don't see it here, but the goal of TRL most of the time is to process the data and the data on the training, and then once it gets the response, it adjusts the model, and it does it 3 times. That's what it calls 3 epoch with cosine LR schedule, enough passes without overfitting. Alright, let's do this and see. And then we have the LoRa adapter here. This is the config out 16, LoRa alpha 32, LoRa dropout 0.5. Let me run this. I have the impression that it's running on CPU. The other one, I'm not even sure on what is running. The other one, the session is 2 hours already. The RAM 3.7, GPU memory 3GB. So this one, what it does, it loading the tokenizer. It says that we have 181 example, eval 32 example. There's an error here. It says runtime error. No GPU found. The GPU is needed for quantization. The quantization is to compress the model. I believe to have that we need to go here and click on GPU T42. Oh, here, stop our session. Let me run it again. Oh, it says I can only have one GPU session. I need to stop one to use the other. Remember, I'm using one here to train this model. Yeah, this may take a couple hours again. I think I will stop it because since we are doing a demo right now. I will stop the session. I need also to see how to run it in the computer, so I can do it on the computer. But let's see. I believe it's running. Trying to run this cell. It's already on the GPU. It doesn't put anything on the output. We click here. It's an error. It says all pair is not defined. Our pair is initialized here, and the PDF files equal list path PDF. It says found this amount of PDF. I guess I have to run since the start again. To make sure that this one is done first. So this time it found more pairs. It says 91 pairs for this. pair request format, 60 pairs for the small groups, 59 pairs for that. Total training pairs extracted 213. Simple pair number 1. Member lead pastor July series over target. Simple pair number 2. Member LoRA third package video. Interesting. I guess we are done with that. Yes, it's done. Next, we'll run this one. It says error, module not found, could not import module, validate BNB backend availability. What I would do, I will copy the output and come back to I will put that error because I don't know what is it. So this is the error that it says. It says it's a version mismatch. That bit soundbite expect a function place that validates the functions that expect a function validate BNB backend availability that only exists in Transformers 4.45. So it wants me to downgrade the soundbite. I've noticed that there's a lot of mismatching in this thing. Versioning is incompatible since I started working with this. Very interesting. I guess what I will do is to first I will restart and clear. Give the total training pairs extracted. So now let's move to this again. So it's downloading the model in two parts. One part that is 4.97 giga, the other part that is 2.67 giga. And then it says could not find the bit soundbite coder binary. Module error again. But I think we have that here. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure it's a versioning again. Versioning issue because it could not find the bits and byte CUDA binary at the installed version of bits and byte was compiled without GPU support. Now we have a new version that we asked Claude to create. So this version does not do quantization, and the Phi-3.5 mini it's 7.6 gigabyte, and C4 that we have the GPU is 16 gigabyte, so it fits perfectly. So we use FP16. So we put it through, it works here because without quantization, all parameters are in. The same D type as well. The grad scalar crash only happened because we had LoRA for quantization mixed D types. Let's see what it does here. So what it did, it loaded the model. We had a checking chart. It's like pieces of the model. We have the generation config. We had the trainable parameters like 12, about 12 millions of parameters. 3 billion trainable 0.3. When we start the training, we have an error when we call this train function. And after that, it will save the LoRa adapter to the output there. But the error that we have here says, let me read it. CUDA out of memory. It says try to allocate GPU 0 has a total capacity of 14 gigabytes, of which 36 megabyte is free, including non-PyTorch memory. This process has 14 gigabyte memory in use. Of the allocated memory, 14 is allocated by PyTorch. Wow, and we have only 16. And 19 megabytes is reserved by PyTorch to unallocated. If reserved but unallocated memory is large, try setting PyTorch allocom expandable segment to 2 to avoid fragmentation. So let's put that error to Claude again. Let's see what it does. So we have a memory issue this time. So this time, I guess it's working. You have the training is going on multiple steps, and this is the loss. When you see the loss like 3 is very bad, loss 4 is bad, loss 1 is also bad, like 0.5. And all my training data is 135, and the rest will be used for the test evaluation. So when you see a push 139.3 over 3, that means it's doing the first time and then it will loop again until it reaches the third time. So the approach is the loop amount of time that it does to improve the quality of the training data. So once it has a bad result, it do it again, it adjusts the LoRa and then it train again. You see how it was so bad at the start, it was like 4, 3, 1. Now we are close to 0.3. That's actually good. I guess that's what is happening. That's my understanding of what's happening. That looks like that's not it. It's actually, let's see. So I type this in Cloud Code. It says the numbers mean that the step is training step, like 135 total steps, 3 epoch, 20 loss, how wrong the model is. Yes, lower is better. So the epoch is 2.5 over 3 halfway through the epoch. So 0.73 is speed, iteration per second. So the loss dropping from 4 to 0.3 is very good. It means the model is learning the pastoral tone and response style from your prior request data. When it finishes, you will see saved to the output, and then you can run the cells to test it. So let's go back. So we can see that it did 2 over 3, and it says that it's been saved to working ministry assistant this output. So this is it here that you guys can see. So that's what we call the LoRa adapter. Yes, we have the config, the Safetensors, the token JSON, tokenizer, all those things. Now let's test it. We have some tests. The messages are organized with role, system, content, system prompt, role user, content message. We have some tests like my mom is going to, please pray for her healing. Je traverse une période difficile avec ma famille, j'ai besoin de prière. I lost my job, I feel hopeless, I don't know what to do. Our small group is struggling to stay connected, those kind of stuff. We are going to test them. He said the scene token attribute is deprecated and will be removed in. One thing that I noticed with all of this is that it keeps with upgrades, the requirements are different, so it's not something that will be fixed forever. Yeah, so that's why I also understand the conflict of versioning here. So this one that says my mom is going through this, please pray for your healing. The assistant says, thank you for sharing this. We are praying with compassion and confidentiality as requested. A pastor of CAD team member should follow up after the missing details are provided. If anyone is in immediate danger, contact local emergency service right away. Interesting. Remember, say, je traverse une période très difficile avec ma famille, j'ai besoin de prière. The assistant says, thank you for sharing this. We are praying with compassion and confidentiality. As requested, the pastor of care team should follow up after the missing details are provided. If anyone is in immediate danger, this is very interesting. So those are the tests. Let's say cell 7 is interactive chat. I need prayer for my studies. They say type a message, empty line sends, quick to stop. How is that the message? Like, thank you for sharing this. We are praying with compassion and confidentiality. It's like a robot. I need a group for adults. I don't really like the way it responds for now because it says I need a group for adults. My schedule is crazy. Thanks for reaching out. I can help narrow this down. I did not ask for that. I feel like it's responding even for things that I did not ask. So I will give that feedback to Claude and see what it says. So this is what Claude says. Two problems are happening. Generating fake extra conversation. The model doesn't know when to stop, so it's invent follow-up messages, fixed at and as a stop token. So Phi-3.5 ends each assistant turn with it. Boilerplate, I guess, let me see, and trying to see where it added it. Oh, this is that end. So ask message new token prompt, you give the prompt chat template and then input tokenizer to CUDA0 and is Phi-3.5 end of turn token. Without it, the model keeps generating fake follow-up messages. And then it says boilerplate responses. Phrases like a pastor or care team member should follow up after the missing details are provided in your training data. Many of your 91 prayer requests record likely had that clause in the responses, so the model learns to output it every time. For the boilerplate, the fine-tuned model learns the template phrases from your data to see what the base model sounds like without fine-tuning, often more natural with a good system prompt. Run this in a new cell. This is where we test the base data. If the base model gets better responses, the issue is that 91 training examples introduce more template patterns. As you can see in the screen, I've done many versioning of this, but it's so strange that it does not have like a git, like a commit message where you can put some log of what has changed. You only have the version name. I mean, I can use this, but I believe that is not enough because if I open maybe view logs, it only shows the log, but it's not really significant for me. So I asked Claude about it and I say when you save a new version of the notebook, why is that it does not allow you to put comments? He said that's a Kaggle limitation. Their notebook versioning works like an autosave, not like Git. There's no field to put a comment message, but you can use the title to put some changes, or you can add at the start of the notebook, you can put a markdown with the change log, what has changed, stuff like that, and use menu next to each version. Yes, or you can fork the notebook for major changes instead of saving a new version. Yeah, that's very interesting. So let's go back to Chrome and we will upload the new version. I always need to copy this. I'm trying to see where, yes, here. What do they mean pending input? Oh, the previous one, I will cancel the one. That's fine. So here is what happened this time. Since we have added this end after each term, now when I ask a question, it says, thank you for sharing this. We are praying with compassion and all of that. And then it just stops. It doesn't put some follow-up things after. And then when I compare to the base model, I had to first use Cloud Call to delete everything that we had before, because since it's just one GPU, when you want to use the base model with that is not fine-tuned, it wants to install the model again and it doesn't work because this is just 16 gigabytes. So 7 plus with what we use plus this one again, it doesn't work with that same GPU. So what we do, we free the memory, we remove all those things, and we test again with the non-fine-tuning base model. When I asked it, it says, oh, I am deeply moved by your request and understand how challenging times like this can be for you and your family. Here's a prayer that encompasses, Heavenly Father, we come before you today with a heavy heart as we pray. It's so interesting, and even when you ask in French, je traverse une période très difficile avec ma famille, j'ai besoin de prière. L'assistant c'est, je suis vraiment désolée d'apprendre que tu traverses une période si difficile. Nous avons besoin de moments de réconfort et de prière, surtout pendant les moments difficiles. So I feel like, obviously, the data that I had, it was just, I used like AI to build those data, but I feel like the normal, non-trained, non-fine-tuned version of the model fee gives more good result for these ones. Yes, and then after we have this interactive chat where you can ask questions, and yeah, I say please pray for me, the assistant says of course I can offer a word of comfort and encouragement inspired by faith. While I cannot physically engage, I can guide you through a thoughtful meditation and affirmation that you may find helpful during this time. Imagine yourself in a quiet place where you can be at peace as you settle in, take a deep breath in. I guess this is the non fine-tuned model, so that's why it just gave those kind of answers. And this is the output that of course we can download and use it locally on our local rack. But thank you for doing all this with me. It has been really fun, and we'll do another project next time. Ciao.